ما أريد من هذا الشعب إلا أن يزيد في الحمد والشكر إلى الله عز وجل، ويزيد من محبة الوطن، ويزيد من العمل ومضاعفة العمل لما يسعى فيه من خير له وللدولة والأهل. هذا اللي أنا أدوره من الشعب، وربنا إن شاء الله يوفقنا جميعا على ما يحب ويرضى.
تقرب منازلها إلا محب زايد أسسها واليوث وراها داروا على الدانات 7 أبد. إلا دار زايد لا تقرب حماها لا تقرب منازلها إلا محب زايد أسسها واليوث وراها داروا على الدانات 7 أبد. نحنا شعوب لها نفدى ثراها نبذل الغالي لها دوم ونهب. نحنا شعوب لها نفدى ثراها.
Which is really fun to work in, and the safety and the strong business environment that's there. It all just contributes to making this place home.
I must also add that I agree with all the points he just said, but I would like to add just one more point. We've got to thank UAE not just to keep this country super safe in the crisis we've been recently, but we've got
Hello everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of Peers of Union, the program that highlights the success story at the heart of the UAE. Every business in the UAE today faces a growing world of regulations, taxes, and compliance requirements, and navigating that would really take a real expertise. So today we sit with the two of the people who make that possible. Let's welcome Ravi from the MSI Auditors, one of the UAE leading professional services firms, the Senior Manager, Mr. Sridhar Ravi, and Tax and Compliance Partner, Mr. Siddharth Ravi. Welcome to Peers of Union.
Thank you.
Hello, hi. It's a pleasure of having both of you with us today. If we please could start with Mr. Siddharth, if you could please introduce me, tell me more about your professional, even your personal experience, like your pathway, your key milestones as well.
So I did my bachelor's in American University of Sharjah. So I was actually brought up in the UAE itself. And I used to be an avid runner. I used to play track. I graduated in 2014. While I was graduating, I was also pursuing my CPA, and I qualified a few months after. Soon after that, I joined the firm. This firm was started up by my father in 1990. So when I joined itself, the firm had over 2 decades of experience and a number of clients in different industries. So I was exposed to a very diverse clientele. When I joined as an audit trainee, and I pursued along with that CMA qualification. Soon I took a 1-year break to do my master's in actuarial science in Edinburgh, and there I had a lot of interest for mathematics, statistics, so I thought that would be an interesting segue for my career. But soon after my master's, I came back, and very soon VAT, ESR, these kind of regulations got implemented. That was a quick turning point to my career, where I had to pivot from being just into audit to being more into taxation, understanding the regulations, understanding what the requirements of the clients are. I had to quickly also get qualified as a tax agent. Soon I was in a position where I was able to help the firm and help our clientele really better navigate through this new tax system. And obviously, we soon had also corporate taxation and so on. But I must say, my team really helped me understand, because they have strong experience over the last many decades, and their real experience helped me be in a better position to advise our clientele.
And so let's say what they were the skills that you have adopted, they really helped shape who you are today.
I think my skills would be strongest would be maybe communication. I was in a I was, because I got exposed to so many different clientele from different cultures, different industries. I was also exposed to understanding how certain people require certain answers, also understanding what are the complex situations they have, and more importantly, actually trying to give them a more simple solution to a complex problem. So that's what most people in UAE really want, a simple solution, and that's it. They don't want long paragraphs of what they need to do.
Yeah. And if you could go with Mr. Sridhar, if you could tell me more about yourself, as I know that you used to work for PwC UK and then you moved with MSI. So tell me more about your journey.
So I did my graduation in the UK, and then after that I was working in PwC UK for just over a year. But I had my internships in PwC as well while I was graduating, and so I had gotten
So
a lot of
you did accounting?
accounting. So I did accounting for university, but I was doing audit in PwC, and so I got a lot of experience, like technical experience with larger firm audits and institutions. And once I was done with that and I was done with my ACA qualification, I moved back here to Dubai, which is my home. I've lived here my whole life. And I joined MSI in 2022. And what I've been doing since then is just taking away what I've learned from the Big Four and implementing that in our sort of mid-sized firm, and improving. We're trying to improve our audit methodologies and everything, and the risk-based approach that some of the Big Four audits do. While I was at MSI, I also did my CFA qualification. So we're starting to branch out a little bit, some more advisory and financial service audits that we're starting to do. So yeah, that's been the past few years.
And let's say, what is the key milestones in your journey?
I think milestone-wise, my ACA degree was pretty a big event. My getting through all my CFA exams was quite important. But also, just every year is a milestone in terms of completing audits for the client and making sure each audit is completed successfully. So every year there's something or the other where we learn, we improve, and we do something significant.
Yes. And if you could start with MSI Auditors, I know it's your father company, so what was his passion towards this company? What even the vision for MSI?
So he started the firm in 1990, and we started off just in Sharjah. By the time I joined, we had 3 offices in Sharjah, Dubai, and Hamria. And back then, when he started the firm, there were very few other audit firms in this country, and his vision was to have the company as a giving global solutions to UAE SMEs. So global audit solutions. That's what his real vision was, and which is why we also joined MSI Global Alliance. And he's focused on also growing the firm to not just remaining as a mid-sized firm, but also growing. And we've now expanded and have over 6 offices, and we've expanded different service lines. We're now licensed in ADGM, DFSA. We also have our office in Silicon Oasis, in Abu Dhabi. So we've spread our wings, and also now focusing, like Sridhar mentioned, into financial services as well. So we are trying to be a real audit solution and real option other than the Big Four.
Okay. And tell me more about the services.
Yeah. So we are looking to be sort of a one-stop solution for all professional services. So statutory audits, accounting, internal audits, corporate tax, VAT, advisory. From setting up a company all the way till liquidating company and everything in between, professional services, we help our clients with that.
I just wanted to add to that. While we provide all of these services, we are also providing this not just as a UAE centric approach, but internationally. So we are members of MSI Global Alliance, which is having 260 member firms globally in over 100 countries. So we have successfully provided very good alternative solutions to our clients where we help them restructure their businesses internationally, provide proper tax planning advice, and also give them global audit solutions. So this is very difficult for mid-sized audit firms in UAE to provide, but we are able to replace the big four audit firms and become a solution where you're able to get a global audit service for a group of companies in one place. So this is something that we as a firm are pretty proud of.
Yeah. And would you say, I think back at the days, as you mentioned, there was not that many auditors companies. So I don't think the competition was that hard. But I would say having the long-term clients right now is the hardest part. And how do you combine with that? How do you cope?
My dad tells me when he set up this company, he came to UAE and within a year he set up this company and was just sitting in the office waiting for phone calls. So we really we started from zero, and now we've reached a position where we've got a good chunk of clientele from different industries, which is our biggest asset really. Because once the client really trusts you, they will not change their advisor.
Yeah.
It's like your doctor. You don't want to change your doctor once you trust them. So we are able to retain our clientele for a very long periods of time. The most common reason we lose our client is for any business reason. They've had to liquidate the company and then we lose them. But otherwise, it's very rare for us to actually lose a client. So this is actually our biggest asset. And now what I'm trying to focus on is not just give more services to these clients, but also bring on more clientele from different industries. This is our current focus.
Yes. And speaking of that as well, the UAE market, especially with the compliance requirement, is getting harder and harder. So how do you even, from your both of your experience as well, how have these changes has impacted the businesses right now? How is it affecting the clients as well?
Yeah, for clients, the compliance requirements have increased a lot. In the past 2 to 3 years, compliance requirements have increased, AML requirement has increased, and there's tax requirements. So audits and proper internal controls is becoming more and more important for the clients. And so for them, they really need to make sure that they're doing everything correctly, having the correct procedures in place. Not just for themselves, but also now the regulators care more about it. The banks are looking more into this, and even the tax authorities are looking more into this because how you report your financials is going to impact the profit and the tax that you show. So in that way, that has changed quite a lot in the past few years.
And would you say that having professional auditors really would help the businesses to even do a better performance?
Definitely. So firstly, the business, having a better structure and system itself help them with their performance in general. But if you were to ignore just the pure benefit from that and simply look at it from a tax or regulatory perspective, just having all this in place can definitely save you a lot from unnecessary penalties, unnecessary delays in terms of approvals and compliance issues. So this is a no-brainer that you need to have somebody professional take care of it. If you don't have somebody in-house, you've got to hire somebody outside. And having your audited records maintained regularly is also of real commercial value because the culture in the country is changing. We're having a change in understanding of how the bankers, investors are looking at a company's financials. So they want to see a company with clean books. So there is a benefit to have a clean slate.
What would you say that the most business owners, even entrepreneurs, they do the most common mistakes as well?
The biggest, I would say there are three main mistakes that startups specifically do. Firstly, they just fall prey to marketing and set up their company in anywhere they find. They don't really identify which is the right regulator they need to pick. So that's the first baby steps to even start up your company. You need to find out where you want to get regulated. So it's important to identify what business you're into. Are there tax benefits to be in this specific regulator, which free zone or mainland? All of this is important. The second most common error that I find is many businesses in their early stages miss out to do VAT and CT registrations. It's a very common mistake, and this happens way too often, and unnecessary penalties. Something they need to just focus on in early stages of their business. And finally, if I were to also add and be a little bit picky, is maintaining proper books of accounts. So startups really focus nowadays on just having growth rate, higher sales, but they forget about maintaining the basic books of accounts. And because that's not in place, when some sort of a tax audit comes in later, they have to scramble in to get in the data and provide that to the auditor. So having this planned in advance is very important. If you can't afford to have one in-house, just outsource it for 1/3 of the cost. So I would say these are among the main three mistakes that business owners make.
And like from both of your experience, what do you think that the most misconception people think about auditors and compliance?
I think a lot of people have the opinion that you do an audit just as a compliance tick mark. Okay, I've done this. And if you do it that way, maybe it is okay for a compliance standpoint, but the returns you get out of the audit will be limited. If you do an audit properly, if you engage with someone who's actually doing a thorough audit, it's not just useful for the compliance side of, okay, I've done the audit, I can get this financing. It's more a management tool. It gives you real insight into what are the weaknesses that the firm has and how can I fix that maybe while you're day-to-day running the business, you won't see this. But when someone from outside sees this, the third eye looking into this, we can give some real insights into what are the problems in your firm, financially and operationally.
And what do you think every business owners, if they must ask one question to the auditors, like before they even have a contract with them, before they start, I think this is a very important question to ask for their auditors before they even agree with them. What do you think it would be?
Definitely there are a few things that you've got to ask before you hire the auditor. You need to first see, do they have experience in your industry? They may not give you the name of their clientele for confidentiality reasons, but at least understand if they have that experience, because every industry is slightly different. And that auditor, if he doesn't have that experience, may not be able to give you nuanced checks. Something else that's important is to find out, are they fully and well regulated in under your regulator? For example, we are regulated under every free zone. So we are able to provide audit reports to almost every company in the UAE, but there are some who aren't regulated in specific areas. So you've got to make sure that they fall under those specific regulations. I would say these are the main 2 points you've got to look at.
So you have seen a lot of changes coming in the UAE market to do with the taxes, the business corporates as well. What do you think is the future is going to be for the taxes in the UAE market?
So we now have VAT at 5%, corporate tax at 9%. Income tax for personal, this is in the talks, but we really don't know if and when they're going to come up. However, the next big thing is e-invoicing. So for better transparency, the UAE is implementing e-invoicing, where every business needs to hire an authorized service provider and the invoices flow through them. So the government of UAE can track who invoices whom and how much is the invoice and so on. And this follows a PayPal network. And this is now in 2 phases, phase 1 and phase 2. And most businesses would have to hire the ASP by mid of next year to avoid penalties. And businesses also need to understand that they might think, oh, this is an added compliance, I have more work to do. But you've got to also understand that this will make your tax filings much more simpler in the next coming years.
And let's say, what is the future plans for MSI? What are you looking for to build?
So one of the key things we're looking into is AI. That's one thing which not just audit firms but every firm needs to look into. It's going to change our profession and it's going to change a lot of businesses. So we're looking to embrace that into how we do our audits. Um, the quality of output that we give to the client can improve if we do it well. There we have to take precaution. There's chances that AI has hallucinations and problems in how they interpret the data. But if we do it safely and well, I think we can improve the quality of what we give to the clients. It can do a very good data analysis. Before we used to do a sample check of transactions. Now we can really do 100% check on a lot of transactions.
So the AI is literally helping this industry a lot.
Yeah, so now some of our work goes from the grunt work of manual check to interpreting the data, evaluating it, and giving real advice to the clients. So it's not just check is this there, because really the data processing, invoice checking can be done from the system, but we'll be giving the more high value advice to the client based on this.
I would say we're actually investing a lot of time and money and effort into embracing AI. I think this is going to really transform our industry. Accounting and audit industry is going to be in the next 5-10 years, you would see it to be completely different work, where we, like he mentioned, we're no longer doing the grunt work, but doing the job, let's say a more senior role, more oversight and giving us more insight to the client.
And if both of you think of like a financial piece of advice, it's like, let's say it's a life hack, what would that be?
I would say you need to hire a good consultant.
Let's say you must hire MSI.
Sure, but even if it's not MSI, have a good consultant to just tell you what you need to do and get your compliances properly checked. This is, I think, super basic. It's not something that you need to spend too much time and effort on. You just get somebody on board who you can rely on and trust, and that should meet a lot of your tax related or compliance related problems.
Yes, and for you, Mr. Siddharth?
I think one of the things, it's not exactly financial, but it ties into the financial aspect for any company, is you need to have the proper procedures in place in your company. You need to make sure that you have, this is how the steps that need to be done from A to B for the process to run for the company. And you need to make sure that there's controls to make sure that, there's no loopholes or nobody can cross these steps. Because if you have these controls and procedure in place, then the financials will be correct. There'll be less problems in your management of the company, and you'll also be able to manage your cash flow and everything a lot better. So this is, I think, very important, not only for internally for the company financially, but also from sort of an external audit perspective or a tax perspective. This makes everything easy.
Yes. And for both of you, getting into this field was like a passion for both of you. So let's say if there's like a young professional who's watching you, both of you today, and who they would like to proceed into this field, what piece of advice you would give them?
I would say first you've got to pick up the right qualification based on the the education stream you're coming through. So may it be CA, ACA, CPA, AAA, whatever it may be. So that's just a starting point. You might think that, oh, I'm going through all this effort to qualify for these exams, but really that's just a starting point. After that, you've got to look at getting real good experience in a company that can really has a diverse clientele and are also open to giving their juniors good quality experience, because an experience in such a firm for 5 years could be equal to, let's say, a simple firm for 10 years of experience. So that really counts. And I must also add, in this generation, you need to focus on technology and AI. Don't be laid back. Try to focus on that as your core competency, because this is going to transform our industry.
Yeah, I think for me, just to add on to that, would be getting international exposure is, I think, quite good in the UAE. Not just because UAE has so many different variety of cultures and people from all over the world, but also UAE is embracing a lot of changes recently in the past 5-10 years that a lot of international countries have been doing over decades and centuries. So having that international exposure gives you an eye into what these countries have done already and maybe what's coming to the UAE in the future. And I think that will help in your career.
If you could send a message to the UAE leaders for making UAE home and safe for everyone and a place to to succeed for such a businesses, what would you tell them?
Yeah, I think I've lived in UAE my whole life, and so I've seen over the past 20, 25, 26 years that the change that has happened in the UAE. We used to be able to see Sheikh Zayed with so little, and now it's a completely different place. And even after having lived in the UK, and then you come back here and you really feel the energy is different. Everybody is a lot more hardworking. I feel they're a lot more enthusiastic. There's a little bit of that culture in the UAE, which is really fun to work in, and the safety and the strong business environment that's there. It all just contributes to making this place home.
I must also add that I agree with all the points he just said, but I would like to add just one more point. We've got to thank UAE not just to keep this country super safe in the crisis we've been recently, but you've got to also understand this has been happening since many years. While these added taxation and compliances and things were coming in, they came in slowly, systematically, in such a way that it did not affect how we really did business. It made doing business in this country super easy. And I would say that's a really big thing for a government of a country to really push. If you look at other countries and the exposure we've got in other countries, we know that how well UAE has performed in making ease of doing business a top priority.
Mr. Sridhar Ravi and Mr. Siddharth Ravi, thank you so much for such a wonderful conversation. It was very insightful and we really had a lot of useful information to use. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was a very pleasure to join this interview, and you've made this conversation very easy.
Thank you so much for both of you. And to everyone watching us, stay tuned with another episode of Peers of Union. Every peer has a story, and next week we have another peer waiting for you. Goodbye.
وام الشيوخ اللي الله رعاها ربت قروب للوطن هم سند، لا تذكر الفزعات إلا طراها مداتها بالعطايا.